Are we live?
Right.
Started.
Woo!
Yay! We are live. It is the 3:33 show, and it is August 1st, which means that my song of the month is out. Our song of the month is out. In your corner is finally officially like a thing that you can listen to now, and I'm very, very excited. We've been working on this since May 9th, I think I was looking at it.
Wow.
So almost made it into 3 months. But piece by piece, bit by bit.
Right.
And it's come together as a really cool song. So I'm super excited. And we did make some like last minute tweaks and adjustments, because anytime there's a deadline, it's like, but I have this every time. Yeah. Every time.
There's always something that you could do.
Yes.
And always something to freak out about.
Yes. Yeah. So the song is actually currently out on Patreon right now. So patreon.com/Little Spiral. It is out and available. And but we want to give a little stream love since a lot of you have been with us the entire time.
Wow.
Thanks,
y'all.
Yeah, super awesome. So, Laureen, you wanna play the song?
Yeah. Okay. I'm excited. So something a little different. Gosh, from last week. Did I added tuba?
Yep.
Did I have it in last week?
No.
Okay, that's new. So, okay, I am a pop tuba player, and I added pop tuba to the bridge for your listening enjoyment. And let me pull up the track. And I wish I'd made like a little visualizer or something, so you'll just have to imagine. Close your eyes. Imagine.
You gave them your trust. They betrayed you in return. A lesson like that, I wish no one had to learn. You've got nothing to hide. It's not on you. I know you tried.
that.
that.
And I'd say, how did we do that? But we literally documented the whole process. So,
how did we do that? We have actual video confirmation.
It's true. But this is, honestly though, this is the kind of thing where I was listening to it and be like, wow, how did we come up with that? Like, what? How? Where did, so
Yes.
I might look back at some of our live streams of when we were
Yeah.
first starting.
Yeah.
Because that would be interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I did take a little sneak peek back on some of the clips because I'm sometimes I've got
Oh, hey,
Twitch.
Andre, by the way.
Oh, hey, Andre. Andre says the song turned out really well. It's been stuck in my head for weeks. Yes, that is success.
Yay! We got an earworm, folks.
Yes. So sometimes I'll have us on my phone, but on Twitch you can do really quick like clips of highlights and things like that. So sometimes if you say something cool or I say something funny, sometimes I'm a comedian. I will do a little Twitch highlight real quick. And so I do have a collection of some of our highlights, and I was just kind of peeking back into the I don't have some for every single one, but yeah, it has taken a journey. It has definitely taken a journey. That very first live stream was I think it was May 9th. And we had no idea what to write about.
Really?
Well, yeah, we kind of just started. It was like, I think we knew we wanted to write about something positive, but in our discussions, you brought up a tweet from Lady Zamar, and you were like, maybe this could be some good stuff. And, the words in your corner are in the tweet, but if you remember, originally, our hook was something different. Do you remember what the hook was?
It was not on you.
Not on you. It's not on you. And you still hear, you still hear in this version a little bit of a ghost of also saying it's not on you. You're playing the role of a ghost, going it's not on you. It's still there. It's still there. But and the you are loved, beautiful, adored, powerful is straight from Lady Zamar's tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some really cool stuff. Just kind of watching the song like come from quote unquote nothing, but yeah, we spent a couple of weeks on the lyrics, probably almost a month. Trying to nail down the lyrics.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you remember about the process when you look back on like, oh, that one time that we co-created a song out of nothing on
right.
live stream? What do you remember?
Well, what I remember most is like how great I'd feel every time we'd finish a live stream, because it's just like it's so fun working with you, and like having a good collaboration is so great. When it's good, it's really good. And like I never came away feeling like, oh, that wasn't good enough, or like I acted weird, or like I don't know. It felt very just very flowing. So that was great. And even when we'd get stuck and think like, and I had many moments where I'm like, and everything sucks, but it's like I just like sort of push through that and just laugh it off and keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what a good collaboration can do. And I also like that, we're kind of being live like this, we're collaborating with the people who are watching and like hanging out with us too. It's nice to have that encouragement, because I mean, these are special folks that hang out with us every week. These are really special folks. So it's I feel the support and the love coming from them, and it's just I'm really proud to have made something so positive. I've been writing a lot of heavy
Yeah.
shit lately, and the world's full of heavy shit.
Yeah.
So it's nice to write something really, really positive.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. I think a lot of songwriters find it easier to write sad songs or melancholic songs or things that help us process some heavy shit because a lot of
Hmm.
songwriters like they will say it feels like therapy to write a song, and it may not be like the easiest thing to be like, I'm going to write a happy song or an empowering song or whatever it is for a lot of people, but I kind of view it as like people need both. Like they really do need the presence of like something empowering, something positive, something that's like, this feeling of I've got your back. I almost hear the song has my back. Like it could
Mm.
be you, me, or a friend or whoever who's got my back. But I kind of feel like when people listen to music and find comfort or support, it's like the song itself is saying, I'm here for you.
I love
And
that.
that's why sad songs actually can make us feel better, is because you're not alone. Somebody else has felt all this weird stuff with you. And if you're, battling through depression or whatever it is, and sometimes you turn on the sad stuff, it can actually help alleviate it because it's like the sad song is saying, I'm in your corner, you know?
Mm.
So there's some really cool stuff that we've kind of magically did in this song. If you want to get like all philosophical about shit, then you could totally do that.
Of
Or if you
course
just
I
want
do.
to,
Of course I do.
if you
Always,
just
every
want to like
time.
dance around and like, because there's a danceability to this song
Yeah.
that like,
Just so fun.
and I was just telling you earlier, like I kind of hear almost some like trance style EDM elements that kind of come in some of the synths and some of the breakdowns, and
Yeah.
but we've transformed it into something that's like positive pop, like electronic bop, and I
Electronic
rhymed.
pop. I love it.
I rhymed. That's the new
Positive
song.
pop. Electronic pop.
Yep.
Yep.
But also like similarly, like I really just enjoyed our collaboration because we've always kept it hey, let's have fun, let's explore what this would be, instead of we must write a perfect song,
Yeah.
which
That's like the
is
death of
huge to me.
creativity when I sit down and say I must write a perfect
We
song.
must write a hit that everybody's gonna love, and it doesn't matter if I love it, but everybody else is gonna love it because it's perfect. And it's
Yeah.
not, no. People
Yeah.
actually, I've had to tell myself this as a recovering perfectionist. Like, people don't connect to perfect people.
Mm.
People, like, the connection isn't there because there's no vulnerability. It's just like, oh, like, they might connect, but like from afar and on a pedestal. They
Yeah.
might connect, they might follow Kim Kardashian on Instagram, but they don't actually connect until they see like the vulnerabilities, until they actually watch the show Keeping Up with Kardashians, and you're like, okay, yeah, there's like some weirdness happened there.
I
But
haven't
like,
seen it.
I haven't either. I honestly haven't.
we
I've
should
seen
we
like
should
clips.
we should see clips for science maybe.
But yeah, for studies.
Yes.
Um, but people don't necessarily connect to people or art or whatever it is because it is absolutely flawless. If they do, or if they think something is flawless, it's more like an awe, like a I can't touch this kind of thing.
Mm.
Here, y'all have witnessed us wrestle through a whole bunch of this shit to kind of stumble on what this song is.
Yeah.
And it's more about the process than the end product. The end product is fucking cool,
Yeah.
but for me, I'm definitely more about the process, because that to me helps empower other people to also be like, oh, I can create too. Instead of I need to be perfect, it's I
Yeah.
can create. which is really
Ah,
exciting, you know.
yes. And
Hmm.
that you can create, and it I was talking about this with my friend Karina, where we've been reading Vein of Gold, the Julia Cameron sort of
Mm,
sequel to The Artist Way.
yeah.
And she and I were talking about like how when the ego is creating, you've got an eye on the competition, and there's that voice that is asking these three questions of, is this good? Is anybody going to like this? And can I sell this? And those three questions just have been killing me lately. They've been killing me.
Mm,
And it's
mm,
tricky. Like, with, so,
tricky.
and I'd love to hear what your thoughts on this are. With the Songwriting Academy, I love what they are about and I love what they are trying to do. And part of the reason I signed up for them is to answer those three questions.
Yeah.
I want to know, is this good? Do other people like this? And can I sell this? However, I don't want, if any of those answers are no, I don't want that to stop me or to hold me back in any way. So I'm
Hmm.
kind of like in this space with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I I feel that. I feel that. I think it might. So I've come to realize that, and this also loops back to some of the communities that I am a part of here in LA, because LA loves to ask those questions like,
Mm.
am I good? Is this good? Do you like me? Can you like me even more? What do I need to do to get you to like me even more so that you pay me?
Yeah. Can only
And it's
imagine.
legit.
Yeah.
And I think it does that. Like, if you want to make this something that sustains you, and you want to take this more seriously than like a hobbyist, you do have to sometimes ask those questions, like what is this about? I think it's in different stages and silos of the creative process, though. I
Mm.
think I think we did start with a little bit of an idea of, yeah, maybe we want to try for sync. Maybe we want to try for something that could be matched with film, TV, commercials, something like that. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that did inform the fact that we chose something like this, but it wasn't beholden to that. So I think I don't invite those questions in until after a song I feel is complete. Like, I can I
Ah,
can ask the question. Maybe
I
maybe I
love that.
do want to, build a library that could be used for sync licensing or whatever it is, and that might start me in a place. But it doesn't have to be the guiding, like, it doesn't have to be the rails. I have heard from so many music supervisors in interviews and even in, like, in person, just send us good songs, because we know when you're trying to write to appease us,
Something that's
we
like
can
synchy.
tell. We can tell. Like, if you're all about production music and you want to do that, that's fine. But like, when they get really excited is when a song comes and it feels fresh, it feels different, it feels like
Mm.
there's life to it, and somebody means, they mean it, rather than
Mm.
they're writing to spec or writing to this, or doing all the perfect things where you add edit points and you're not doing things that are too busy. And that's like, that's all
Yeah.
that's all fine to keep in mind. But I like, a music supervisor, it's just a job. They're listening to thousands and thousands and thousands of songs, going, will this work for my project? Will this work for my project? Will this work for my project? Over and over again. They are asking, like, will this get paid? Will,
Right.
they're asking
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
it's
Will
not
this
our
work?
job as an artist, in the creation process, to worry about those things yet. I think there is room for that after you come out of the magical whatever the hell
Hmm.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's kind of like the people attribute it to Ernest Hemingway. I kind of have my doubts, but there's an adage that says write drunk, edit sober. And I don't actually drink that much, but I get that. I get that.
It. Be drunk on the magic of the creativity. Yeah.
You want to just be in that flow. You want to just follow your own interest and your own interest alone, making something that you will be happy and pleased with. And oh my gosh, you experimented with this little thing. And, you know, you can work with your inner editor after the fact. I think there is value in being able to ask and talk to your sober editor, you know, like be super drunk and have fun, and then like be maybe not all the time. It'd be nice. So like so there is like the right drunk part, there's the edit sober part, there's the creative part, and then there's the business part. And I separate that I separate that. And speaking of like the LA scene, the LA community, I am connected with a group called LA Songwriters Collective. They're a fabulous bunch of really supportive people. One of my fears about moving to LA is that it's super cutthroat, and these people are just like the most supportive people ever.
Nice.
And they'll bring, in fact, tonight's one of them. If you are in the LA area, T-Pop in North Hollywood, we're having a little outdoor gathering in a patio and having like guests over. So last month we had somebody who teaches at a place called the Songwriting School of Los Angeles. I tell you about, he runs the school. He doesn't just teach, he runs the school. He said something to me that was like, or he said something just even in general that brings in what we're doing, this collaborative thing, and talks about this inner editor. And he says the way that you collaborate with somebody else is the way that you collaborate with your inner editor. Which is super interesting. And that was like, wait a minute, say that again. Let me process that. Because the collaborative part to me is a yes and. It's a, that's a really cool idea. What about this? And it's a, improv, law of the land for improv acting, but it's also for a lot of creative stuff. And so he was saying,
hi, the Mr. Rockford.
Hey, Mr. Rockford. Good to see you. Good to see you, old friend. So he was saying that you can collaborate with your inner editor. You can invite them and have a voice because they do have something valuable to say. Just like, but in the process, you let the magic happen. And then afterwards, you're like, okay, like let the inner editor in. So yeah, that's.
Oh, I like that. That kind of reminds me of something my friend Claire said about, like, I'd been feeling kind of burnt out and overworking myself, and I'm only working on my own stuff, like my own projects. So it's like, why am I doing this to myself? And my friend Claire was like, why don't you be the kind of boss that you would really like to work for? I was like, oh, okay. That's
right.
Okay.
Generous vacation packages, 401k.
Right. Lots of Atta girls and gold star stickers and naps and snacks. Yeah.
Naps and snacks. Amazing. Yeah. So what else about what else will you remember when you think about like the process of this song? What kind of things come to mind?
I liked working under the time pressure of like we have a couple hours, and so it really pulls back the rabbit holes. Like I know we went down some rabbit holes. However, I became more self-aware of, okay, stuff's good enough. I mean, like you were saying, you're a recovering perfectionist, and like good enough is never enough, right? But actually saying, oh, this is good, and let's move on, is a very valuable thing to be able to do, and just keep it moving, keep it fun. I liked experimenting with the different sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, I learned a lot. It's hard to quantify all the things that I actually learned, because I feel like I'm leveling up almost with I am leveling up with every project. And I feel like this was several times over leveling up, because it was drawn out longer than most of my other projects have been, and yet I had the accountability to be like, well, we're gonna do something.
Yeah,
we're gonna do something, and it's gonna be something. And just having that be okay. Yeah. So like coming up with the lyrics, I mean, we had a really good time. It was funny, you know. There was that moment of the infamous love kung fu, which I don't even remember.
I bet you
what was I rhyming?
I bet you I could even pull up the clip. I think I'm gonna go and look for the clip, because I think I just saw it and I was like, this is funny as shit. Let me see. Yeah, love kung fu.
It was a rare moment of, oh no, this is not a yes and for Suzanne.
Yeah, I'm usually very much yes and
yet
I shut
it was
that
so
down.
funny. It was so perfect.
I definitely shut that.
Yeah, I don't know. This is what could happen when you chase the rhyme, right?
Yeah.
Like things become kind of insincere very quickly, and I liked how, you know what? This is something I remember, is that during the lyric writing process, we kept on going back to like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? What are we really saying with this lyric? And we'd like take a step away from trying to spit it in a rhyme scheme and just like say words. With the bridge, I know we talked about different options for the bridge, and I just loved Lady Zamar's tweet so much, and those words, they didn't have to rhyme, and they were so good. I just need to say them again. It was like, yeah, and that's the part of the song that like gets in my head the most, which I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. Like, what a great tape to be running in my head. Yes. You are loved, beautiful, powerful. I mean, adored. It's like, it doesn't get better than that, and I want to treat myself like that all the time. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
I did find the clip.
Right.
I did find the clip. Let's
just share screenplay?
Yeah. Oh, I gotta minimize this. I forgot to share the sound. Hold on. How do I share sound? Oh goodness. Let's do this. Click the button, Suzanne. Share the sound, and here we go.
And next to you, we'll do our love kung fu.
No. I rarely say no in writers' rooms. I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
Like, go away.
I usually am like, no, all ideas are good ideas. I'm just gonna write it down. I'm not.
Love kung fu. I mean, but the idea
love
of like the arsenal.
Fu.
It goes with the arsenal of love.
No.
And it's been fun, Lorene. Goodbye.
Yes.
See you never.
Yeah. No, actually, okay. So here's the thing. I usually don't say no to anything, but I knew that this was a safe enough thing between you and me to be like, make a joke out of it, because I knew that it was something funny. And I also will say, I think that was the time where I realized that, oh yeah, this is a good collaborator. We can laugh and the fact that you can just be like, okay, right, love kung fu. I don't know. Like you're in that zone of just like throwing shit out there.
Yep.
And I was also in the zone of being really a snarky ass bitch, but like
it was perfect.
But it was perfect, and that was actually, you know, we joked about like, okay, what are some of the highlights, what are some of the lowlights, and people were like, and you were saying like, okay, the love kung fu was a lowlight. No, I think it was a highlight. I think it was a highlight because it was memorable, it was hilarious, and like it also illustrated the whole songwriting process. Like, and I normally don't play the role of your inner editor, your inner critic. I try not to. And that particular moment, I felt safe enough to be like, this is something I can say no and people are gonna laugh, instead of I can say no and it's gonna shut down all creativity.
Right.
I think
distinction.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for the punchline because I'm a ham. I just do. That's just what I do.
I think that's such a good point, and like your intention was like levity and lightness, and like let's keep flowing through.
Yes.
Where it wasn't an intention to. There wasn't any ego in it. If that makes sense. Yeah. Like you weren't trying to say, like, tell me, like, talk. You weren't trying to make me feel bad. Like you were trying to make me laugh.
Yes.
So we could keep working. And that kind of intention is so different from like if you were coming out of a place of insecurity. And like here's the thing too, you never know when somebody you're working with is insecure, even if they look for all the world successful, even if they have lots of stuff, like they can do things that make you feel like a little on guard or a little like, oh, should I have not said that? This kind of feeling. And being aware of that is because like this kind of innocence, to come out and just be like, say whatever's in your head to just keep on going, that's actually power. And it can be threatening.
Great. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, the fact that you like met that power with more power and we're not threatened, like neither of us were threatened.
Neither of us were threatened.
Like, so that's really beautiful. That's really beautiful.
Very interesting. Yeah.
So I have been in collaborations, like, and they're not terrible collaborations either. Like, but I've been in collaborations where I feel like I don't want to like hurt their feelings, or like I'm not going to say that I'm feeling butthurt right now. Like. Because I do want to keep things going. But yeah, I don't know. I want to find more collaborations where it just like feels like that innocent, bubbling fountain. Yeah.
Yes. Like 100%. Also, I have had collaborations that have felt like I can't really be in my full yes and, or I can't really be even in my full like joking kind of stuff. And that was a rare moment. Like I don't think in the 3 months that we did, I actually ever said a hard no. But,
which was why it was funny.
Which is why it was funny. Yeah. That was the setup of the punchline. But like. But I have been in collaborations where I would not have dared to joke, or have not have dared to say like, oh, I don't know about that, or what about this? Like it felt like there's a little too much ego, or a little too much like, I don't know, like a little bit of like protectiveness. And I don't blame anybody for being protective of their creative process, but when you're in a collaboration, you just have to be like, all it is, we're just shooting the shit here.
Yeah.
And feeling comfortable in that. I've also been in collaborations which, again, weren't bad, but just felt like work. And with you, it really just felt like showing up with a friend and working on cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Some collaborations are like very down to business, Everybody's got homework. This is the other thing, and why I like to maybe do these live streams or have collaborations with producers where we just like set a time and we work on a song together, like chunk by chunk. I have an allergic reaction to homework. I never liked it in school. I never did it in school. I don't know why I kept getting A's and B's, because I tested really well and most of my grades were about the test and not about the actual homework. And also I have like ADHD, blah, blah, blah. And it's become hard for me to organize and prioritize things that I have committed to do, unless it's on a regular live stream with a friend and we just like show up and work on whatever we can work on during that period, and just keep plugging away at it. Again, I'm very much a journey kind of person. Like I want to work on projects where I'm enjoying the journey and it doesn't feel like a burden. It just feels like a joy.
Yeah.
And so I love working like this collaboration was amazing. Y'all saw how much fun we were having.
Yeah.
You all saw it every week, and hope that you also had some fun. Even when we're, doing the little mundane stuff, even when we spent 2 hours on Melodyne, which is also a short amount of time, honestly.
We timed
Melodyne was
ourselves.
actually, yeah. Melodyne can be really tedious if you want to be that, like granular and want to allow a little of humanity in the robot. It can sound like a robot if you let it. But sounding like a robot's real easy. You just like select everything, you hit and then your Melodyne is done in 10 minutes. But when we were wanting to work with it, it can get a bit tedious, but it can also be a little meditative.
I think that's a great way of seeing it.
And I think those of you who've been on the stream often, and I know that even for myself, when I'm putting on a live stream where somebody's creating something, it also feels a little meditative. Just have it on in the background and have it like just a presence over here that somebody somewhere is creating something cool, and I might check in once in a while, or I might do a thing and then come back. But I hope that was a similar vibe that everybody on the stream got, is that we're just having fun and exploring different things and seeing what we can make with what we've got. And that's the kind of stuff, and I've had some other great collaborations. For me, I love it when we can chunk off things in real time, and I might have some homework assignments or whatever. I think that's a reasonable request for me to do things, but I like the real time collaboration where we're kind of doing it a couple hours at a time over time, so we can have a bit of perspective too. I have been in situations. My first EP was all, way before the pandemic. It was all in studio. You show up and you pay money for X amount of days, and you got to, and that has its place, definitely. And I can't wait for stupid pandemic-y things to calm down even further so that I can do that a little more. But there is also a value of having some time and space between what you did and what you're going to do next, so you have fresh ears and a fresh perspective. You give your ears just a little bit of rest. And so like having regular weekly, let's build a song sessions with people have been the most effective ones, because it feels like, okay, there's something on the calendar, I can show up for it. And this is, again, like my schooling. All of my schooling's been, I don't want to do homework, I just want to show up and take the test. It's a little bit like that. Makes sense. And it's also with my ADHD brain, it actually helps so much to be able to like show up at a certain time and just do whatever you could do in this 2 hours. If there's some left over, okay, fine. But for the most part, our song was written live in front of y'all. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's very little that was off
Yeah.
screen. There's some in this last week or so because we were hitting a deadline. That was the
Mm-hmm.
we could tweak if we didn't have a deadline. We could tweak this into infinity.
Ever.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which is
yeah, yeah,
not always the best idea, you know?
yeah. But for the most part, I think 95% of the song we have a live stream on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about this? Should we listen to like parts of the song and talk about what we remember? Like how that happened?
That's
You
a
wanna
great
try that?
idea. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Listen to the intro and like talk about it a little bit. And for everybody on the live stream now, I don't know if you got to hear it in the beginning. Let us know, because I wouldn't mind hearing it again. I think I'm really proud of this. I'm really proud of this. Like I feel like it shows my production chops, and it's like I learned a zillion things doing it, and yeah.
I learned a lot too.
Um,
So do you want to let's for some of you who hopped on later, maybe we should listen to it straight through once, and then we can kind of go back. I'm gonna like maybe take notes, and then maybe we can go back section by section and kind of.
Oh, that's great. Okay, yeah, have fun. Okay,
yeah.
Let's do it. So let's play the thing.
Like that, I wish no one had to learn. You've got nothing to hide. It's not on you. I know you tried, you did what you had to. Times when you don't believe in you, I always do. I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. You got this and I got you. No matter what you do, I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. I know that it hurts, but now you got superpowers, for better or worse. You can tell bullshit from flowers. You're gonna rise up stronger than before. No one's gonna beat you down or mess with you no more. I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. You got this and I got you. No matter what you do, I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. I'm in your
You are loved, adored, beautiful, powerful. You are loved, adored, beautiful, powerful.
I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. You got this and I got you. No matter what you do, I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner.
Such a journey.
Ooh,
Such a
yeah.
journey.
Oh my gosh. I remember um when we came across the "you got this and I got you no matter what you do."
Ah, you do.
Yeah, because and I've been trying to find out. I think I have an actual clip, and I might have even reposted it on like TikTok or whatever. Um, because it felt so like almost victorious. Like
Yeah,
it felt like
absolutely.
we stumbled on a thing, and then we started dabbing, and then we were like, oh, do you remember this? Yes, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Well, when you know, that's what I like to call it inevitable. Like you've got it
Yeah.
to be inevitable. That line can be nothing else. And that's
Yes.
when you know. So, yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
that's funny. I forgot what
Uh,
we.
yeah, we were just like, what? And I remember it because I had like Twitch clipped it and kind of put it up
Smart.
on TikTok.
Nice.
Because that was just really funny.
Yes.
Um,
I mean, it's a
and I
good
remember,
line, right? It's like a surprise that you don't hear that all the time.
right?
You got this and I got you. I would,
Yeah,
but like that's it's a thing. It should be a thing
it
anyway.
should be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you remember?
Yeah, so in this beginning section, you can hear me with the little ghosty part that we were talking about before of the "not on you." I remember the kind of switch over because "not on you" we're like, oh, it's just kind of it's sort of negative, and it's sort of too much about the shitty stuff that happened.
Yeah, it's also a little passive. It's just like
Yeah.
even if it was like "you're not at fault" is a little more active, but still is like a negative kind of like, and
Mm-hmm.
we wanted it to be a positive reinforcement. So I
Yeah.
think we looked at Lady Zamar's tweet and we're like, oh, in your corner.
Boom.
Duh. Again, I said, oh,
Hey.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I think that was such a cool thing, and like it really that shows. Don't ever be attached to an idea of like, oh, it needs to be this, because then
hmm
you if I were so attached to like, well, it has to be called "In Your Corner" because that's like, or no, I mean, it has to
yeah,
be
and
called "Not on You" because
on
that's like
you,
how we started the idea. Like, I'm never gonna do that because the
yeah.
idea has to shift. It has to grow. So
And,
I loved that.
and
Yeah.
that's also part of the collaborative process as well. Is like when you learn how to articulate why something works and why something could be better.
Mm.
Like, and that my very very first co-write taught me that. And
Huh.
he was a little more like like he was my producer for my first EP, and he was a lot more direct. It was still a fun co-write, but he was just like, so why? Like I was like, let's do this in the pre-chorus. Could you tell me why? And like bristling, and then it's like, actually, here's why. And it was actually a really helpful process for me for the very very first co-write that I've ever done. Um, I'm not quite as direct, but I might ask like, what about this? There's something about this. Could you help me like figure out why this isn't sitting right? Um, but it also again comes back to, do you trust your co-writer? Do you trust the other person to be on the same page as far as like what they're contributing to the song?
Mm. Mm-hmm. How interesting. The why and like being able to talk about why. Absolutely. That's kind of at the meta that gets at the meta level of this. Like, why are you singing this song? Why is this song important? Why is this song important to sing right now? And those are good questions to ask. And they can be like, I don't know, it just sounded good, okay?
And that was definitely some of my answers. It's just like, I'm not sure. I just prefer it that way. And sometimes that was the perfectly legit answer. But
Yeah. Some things reveal themselves later too.
Oh yeah. I've written entire songs where like years later I was like, oh, this is actually not about what I think it's about. This is about something deeper and like, more in my subconscious than I even
Yep.
realized. Totally.
Yeah.
What else? What else do you remember as you're listening to this?
Yeah. Okay, well, let me just like play this very beginning part where you can hear the like that little thing in the background. This may have been this may have been the first song where I used two different bass sounds, which is the infamous doinky bass.
The
and
doinky
then our,
bass,
like,
yeah.
smoother bass, but we had our doinky bass, and
Right.
yeah. And that's really a thing. And since then, I've noticed it in other songs where when there's two bass sounds happening, you don't just have to have one bass. That's the bass, and it's the bass through the whole thing.
Interesting.
You know? Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Also,
that was something I liked.
Andre saying, "And why do you like strawberries better
Oh.
than blueberries?" That's also legit. Like sometimes it's just, that's my taste and that's it. But sometimes there is something that you can say, like if I'm at a restaurant and I order something and I don't like it, I'm like, I don't know, the overtones of lime are just overpowering the rest of the peanut, like whatever it is. You could,
right? You ever
or you could just be like, I don't like it.
If you ever just have a situation where like I don't like onions. I'm not allergic to them or anything, but sometimes it's just easier to say, "Yep, I'm allergic to onions. Please don't put them in my food." I guess in a way, like not liking something is being allergic to it. I'm just gonna put that.
I am allergic to homework.
You see?
I can absolutely any other schooling endeavor that I say I will write in. Be like, this is a medical condition.
Nice. So yeah, you're not lying. It really affects you physically.
It really does.
Really does. Yes. So yeah, the two basses. Let me listen through. And I sampling some of the things that you had did at when we were in the experimental stages where we didn't quite have our melody, we didn't quite have our lyrics 100%, but we were doing some sketches, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where this first like da 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 the sample came from, and I really like the flip in your voice. The da da. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I gotta use that. So like sampling it and like being able to resampling was kind of the big evolution that happened in this song. And I hadn't known how to resample things in Cakewalk before, so that was fun. There was a lot of routing things that just were like keys to the universe open up when I learned that I could do things a certain way.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll also say, like, I didn't know anything about Cakewalk before collaborating with you, and the more I think about it, and I also teach songwriting, so sometimes I have like a 6-week course that I might be launching in September if people bug me. If people want it, I will give it.
How cool!
But it'll be, I've taught this course before, and it's a little 6-week program. But one thing that I've come up against is trying to teach songwriting to people who have never picked up an instrument or never have messed around with anything musically before. I did lead a class of like people who were in poetry or creative writing but wanted to figure out what the songwriting thing is. And I had thought about doing like, okay, can I show people a basic thing of BandLab? And it's like, I don't know, because BandLab's pretty, it's pretty oversimplistic, and I don't want to be I want to teach songwriting. I don't want to teach production. But if there's a clear way of like, I start a band lab project that people can add to or kind of show them the ropes, because you don't need to know music theory in order to kind of piece loops and sounds together in an interesting musical way. Like, but I was like, I didn't know if there was a bridge between what they were doing and something a little more advanced if they wanted to get to it. And I was like, I had no idea that Cakewalk was in that family and that it was free. So that gives me a little bit of idea on it. And I'm also really, really passionate about keeping things like software and whatever accessible and affordable. There's nothing more affordable than free. So I was introduced to Cakewalk and figured out a couple of different, things on that. And I'm starting to think about like how I would teach my course differently if somebody had zero, like they wouldn't know what an A chord is from an F chord from a Q chord, there are no Q chords.
Q chords are hard.
Yeah,
they're just really hard.
So something to think about. So I'm really glad you introduced me to this, because now I'm like, okay, how can I? At least I have somewhere to point them to if they really want to go deep in the production rabbit hole on professional software that's also free. That's really cool.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. I'm so glad. Cakewalk is so powerful. It's been around for ages as Sonar. And I don't know when it changed over to Cakewalk, but it within the past few years got acquired by BandLab, and now it's part of their whole family thing. And BandLab is very much about education.
Yeah.
So very cool. Oh, that's great. You're gonna teach a songwriting class. How interesting.
Yeah. I last one I taught, it was last year. And actually that reminds me, I need to do some shout outs, because 2 students of mine ended up collaborating outside of the class, and they just released a song like a few weeks ago.
Nice. Oh, what's the song?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look it up here.
Cool.
Yeah, it was just such a cool, like I had no idea that they were collaborating on their own. Like after the class ended, they ended up teaming up, because he's a producer and she was, again, one of those poets. Like she had an MFA in poetry. And so let me just, what is it?
That's so cool. So did you, when you taught, is it live or is it web and like pre-recorded or?
Yeah, it's it was over Zoom. I'm also looking at, I want to say even this week, looking at venue spaces here to teach it in person. But for the most part, it's been over Zoom. Before the pandemic, I was teaching, it was more about the creative process and using songwriting to illustrate the creative process. So that kind of teaching I was doing more for like almost like, I don't want to say tech bros because that's not exactly it, but like it was just a more of a helping people think outside the box. And so I would host workshops about the creative process and also entice them with like, and we'll also write a song even if you've never written a song before. Here's how we're going to piece it together. And that was more of a workshops that was fit for like, I don't know, the corporate world, so that they can get their employees to think outside the box and innovation.
Smart.
And,
very smart.
But then I launched straight into like straight up songwriting teaching during the pandemic. Yeah.
Wow, cool.
I'm trying to find what the song is, but while I'm trying to find that, Did you have anything else that you wanted to mention as like what you remember from the song?
Um, Man, yeah, like each little part, I feel like was something different. Here, let me play a little bit. I know, and I'm not sharing sound, but
You gave them your trust. They betrayed you in return. A lesson like that. I wish no one had to learn.
I mean, I'd done the like very very heavy serious side chaining as a style, that like pumping sound, womp womp womp.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think that was maybe one of the most bold times that I've done that. And I really like the effect of it. And so just learning to dial in that pumping sound and understand that yeah, a lot of these things that seem like special effects, like the telephone sound, right? That da 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 da, and then the echo in like a sort of telephony sound. That's done with EQ. It's not a plugin.
Right.
That's EQ and understanding the frequency spectrum a little bit. So like that, to get that sound, you just smash all the frequencies that are on the high and smash all the frequencies that are in the low and just keep it in the high mids and like bump it up there. Cause those are, and I think I talked about this last week, where those are the frequencies that like back in the day, AT&T found out were the ones that carried the most and projected the human voice the most, so you could be heard kind of in no matter the situation. So that's what makes the telephone sound. They picked those frequencies to bump them so they could be more easily understood. So that's just done with EQ. And the same with this, like the EDM style, like pumping. It's done with compression.
Oh.
Just about any compressor does it. And yes, there are plugins for it. I think there's one called like the Pumper or whatever. And there's things that will do it for you. But once you understand it, it's not a big deal to set up. And
Very cool.
Yeah. I like having the understanding behind the different plugins and what's happening, and that's still being revealed to me. Like the very very popular Waves CLA plugin that everybody uses on their vocal chains, and like I have until quite recently, because I'm kind of wanting to like wean myself off of Waves. Sorry, Waves.
They keep randomly charging you, and you think it's like, oh, is this an annual? They don't even tell you that it's like an annual license you have to keep up. They just like randomly is like, hey, you should buy this because otherwise we're taking our toys away.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like, why are we taking the toys away? Yeah, so I'm like trying to learn everything that the Waves plugins do and figure out different ways to do them, preferably with all free shit that already comes with Cakewalk. And I am working on a template right now that's like only Cakewalk plugins, only things that come with Cakewalk, and I'm spending some time on that.
That's cool. Are you going to be sharing that with the internet?
I would like to.
Very cool.
Like it's kind of the fuck you Waves kind of thing. However, I can't really say fuck you Waves because like they have the they have some things that I do really like that are quite fun. Their real-time tuner is pretty great, and I mean I can do without it, and I usually do, but it can be fun. And then they have another thing called Ovox, which is just this wacky like kind of how do you describe, like vocoder type?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It does all sorts of things anyway. But yeah, it's like that whole being cagey about charging stuff. So anyway.
Not cool. Like at least say up front,
Yeah.
loud and proud, X per year, and then I can make a decision.
Right.
So
Not
take
hard.
it away 3 years after I produce something.
Yeah, what the hell?
Anyway, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So having things kind of like oh, I know what that plugin does now. Or like, oh, I know. Learning how to automate things and automate the buses and putting all my effects in buses, which I can then automate, feels like a fucking superpower. It's been a game changer for how I go about creating things and being able to like be like a mad scientist. I'm like dial in a little bit of reverb, I'm dialing in a little bit of this crystallizer here, and just get it just right and be able to change it as it goes along. So much more versatile. So much more versatile. Yeah.
That is a superpower. But now you've got superpowers.
Tell bullshit from flowers.
That was another thing I remember. We have been
Tell
talking
me,
about
do you
that
remember?
line. I remember challenging it a little bit. I remember challenging it a little bit in a very nice collaborative way. Not in the way that like I didn't shut it down, and obviously it was like it made it. And it shut it down like Love Kung Fu.
No.
But I did challenge it, and I wanted to get to like that point of like, you know, that question of why. But it ended up like it ended up making sense for what we wanted to say, and it also ended up being like it is a powerful line because people kind of turn their heads to it. Because it sounds so like you could tell bullshit from flowers. I've never heard it quite that way.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, after a while, I was like, let's make it work.
You know, it's good to have those head turner lines. I forget who it was that wrote MacArthur Park, but this idea of someone left the cake out in the rain. What the fuck kind of line is that?
It ended up being, I think it's Richard Harris, is that what his name is?
It's weird, and that's what makes it genius.
It's okay. So I've got a funny side story about that. I was and still am a pretty big They Might Be Giants fan.
Love
and
them.
Yeah, they have been one of my favorite bands since elementary school.
Nice.
They have a song called "It's Not My Birthday," which is one of my favorite songs. It's like it's a B-side. It's off of some B-side, and they have a line that I was listening to it in the car with my mom, and my mom was listening to it, and she just busts up laughing at this particular line. I'm like, what are you laughing at? And she's like, have you ever heard the song MacArthur Park? I was like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. I was a kid. Like, no. The line is, when this gray world crumbles like a cake, I'll be hanging from the hope that I'll never see that recipe again.
Yeah, that's
as
funny.
a kid, I thought it was like, okay, that's kind of funny and weird and kind of dark, but okay. But I never heard the song MacArthur Park before, and so my mom was crying with laughter. She was like, you need to go listen to MacArthur Park right now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Such a weird thing. It was, I think, the producer, Mutt Lange, who produced Def Leppard, among other things. He's known for being like weird and reclusive. Anyway, I think it was him that said it's better to be weird and memorable than good and forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
So
100,000%. That's what I'm trying to be anyway.
Yeah, I feel like I could get weirder with my lyrics. It's odd. I almost feel like since joining the Songwriting Academy, I've kind of like toned down some of the weird.
Interesting. Yeah, and there's for sure. Like I feel like for me particularly, especially Little Spiral has it. I protect the brand of Little Spiral to be as weird as she needs to be. And then if I'm doing stuff for sync, if I'm doing stuff for pitching other people, like then there's kind of some rules and structures to pay attention to and try and push the edge a little bit. Because again, like all of these A&Rs, all of these producers, all of these music sync folks are listening to thousands of songs. And if they all blend together, if they all are using the same rules and regulations and like, don't do this and do that, and this is what's in right now, and this is, and everybody's doing that, they're not going to remember your track. Like the weird and memorable and good and forgettable. I hear so many amazingly talented singers, amazingly talented songwriters who are pumping out, TikToks after TikToks of certain songs that sound great, and I don't remember what it's about. I don't remember the hook. I don't remember anything. So also part of the weirdness can be the story behind what you're doing as well. So that part can also be super memorable. Like the Ty Verde song, the gonna be A-okay. That's a earworm. It's an earworm. And the fact that he broke that song while he was working at a Verizon store or whatever, and he just unleashed it on TikTok and it went viral is a really interesting story. And I remember that story more than that. I mean, I'm gonna be okay. It is a pretty memorable song, but like the story behind the song can also be the element of weird that makes it sticky, that makes it memorable.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, same with sounds. Like when we're getting, a lot of producers are using the same sorts of pools of sound samples. Something I appreciated with this project, we used mostly all our own sounds, really. I mean, I use Vital synth, and I use a lot of fantastic presets, most of which I had like tweaked from the preset to something that I wanted. But yeah, there's so many things that you can do with that synth that don't sound like anything else. And like I added the tuba, which is, you don't hear that every day. And people could kind of like listen to it and have no idea that it's a tuba, but it feels like, oh, what is it? It's like sort of like a foghorn sound. It's like this big, like epic sound. And that's not something that is available in Splice.
Right. It's available in your room right behind you.
Right, it is. It's available right here. Yeah, and I think we made most, if not all, of the sample. There were some of the drums, some of the kicks that I had there were samples that I then put into the step sequencer drum machine that's part of Cakewalk. But even then, I was programming them myself, programming those drums. Yeah, I think that's important.
Very cool. Anything else you remember about the song? And then I got a couple of questions to ask you about your whole life. But
okay.
Before then.
Let's see. Listen. There's bullshit from Flowers. Yeah. Oh, that little.
Oh, yeah.
That was done with automating EQ. So
that's
fun.
Cool.
Really enjoyed that. You can get so many cool effects with automations of EQ. So in the bridge, the little sparkly things that are happening that are like, it kind of like, what is that sound? That is the tuba running through a plugin called the Crystallizer, which is a sound toy plugin. that
I'm writing that down
I
'cause it
am
sounds rad.
excited about using more of.
Yeah, it does sound really freaking amazing.
It's so cool. And so how I did that is that I put the crystallizer on a bus and set it to 100% wet. So all that's happening with that bus is the processed sound. There's no dry sound in it. And then I put an aux track off of that bus and called it the crystal resampler, so that I was able to record just a sample of just the effect, just the sparkly effect. And so then I can use that sample however I wanted. So that was a really cool thing to realize, that I could do just make these wacky samples with my tuba that don't sound like a tuba, that sound like pure magic, and I can use them
Yeah.
anywhere. So
That
that was
is
really cool.
really, really cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but it was just so fun. It's just so fun, and it felt like it came together so nicely. And
Yeah. Yeah. That is cool. And that's also a really recent, like in the last like week or so, you added the little sparkly, shimmery crystals stuff.
Yep.
That's very cool.
Added the crystals. Yeah.
I'm gonna look into the. I know you bought like pretty much everything Sound Toys
I
ever
did.
does, right?
They make a small selection of plugins that are fantastic.
I've been using little Altar Boy, and I think they've got another little vocal tweaker thingy. They do really good stuff. But
Yeah, I used Little Ultra Boy quite a lot in this song as well.
yeah. There's a lot of like Little Altar Boy. There's a couple of plugins. I took Ryan Tedder's class, and I kind of liked it. It was interesting, but I don't know if I'd recommend it. Anyway, he recommended anything Valhalla reverbs. He also does the CLA vocals, but he can afford to whatever. He can afford to do whatever he wants. Little Altar Boy, and there was just like a few key things where he's like, everybody I know has used this, go buy this. And so I went and bought something, and some of these plugins are like top tier industry standard, $40 maybe.
Nice.
You know, some of them are really affordable. He also uses Splice, and I'm over samples. Like I prefer VSTs because I know what I'm doing on the piano, and I'd rather do like not necessarily samples. Samples are fine if you can tweak them, but loops, you know, even maybe in the drums if I can tweak them. But even then, I've got Easy Drummer, where it spits out MIDI, and I can individually like affect MIDI. I want to get my hands on every individual thing. I don't really want to worry too much about chopping up like samples and loops.
Yeah, I can
that's
see
just
that. And like I often start projects like, oh, Lorene, you don't have to make this so hard on yourself. Why don't you just use some loops? Just use some loops and make a beat. Just use some loops and make a beat. It'll be fine. And then it starts that way. And then I start wanting things. I start hearing things that's not in that loop, that loop can't do unless I get in there.
Yeah.
So I end up just kind of like making stuff whole cloth anyway.
There is value to like even starting with loops or what have you. In fact, when I teach songwriting, like just start with whatever. But when you want to take it to a professional level, especially if you're doing sync licensing, that if you have any loops, especially from Slice or Arcade or anything like that, they could lose their job if it's an unlicensed. Even if it's a licensed, sometimes they will just say no loops or samples, period, because there's just too much risk.
Right. Right. I've heard that on taxi briefs where it's like you can't use samples for there's specific ones where they're like you can't use samples unless they are so altered as to be
Right.
unrecognizable from the original.
Right. Yeah. You gotta drench it in distortion or tune it down or reverb it or remix and chop things up. Like it can't, especially with sync, because if you start out with something that's like a sample and somebody hits that Shazam button on the TV show that they're watching and it brings up like 50 different songs, that's an issue. That's an
Yeah,
issue.
for sure.
Yeah.
Hi, Sam Junior Music. What's up?
Oh, hey, what's up?
You're asking, so overall, how
Hmm.
many days or how much time did it take you to finish the song?
This was weekly. We did this every Monday since May 9th. And usually our sessions are about 2 hours.
Yeah.
The last month or so, we added a couple extra sessions, and we also did I know Lorraine was working on it a little behind the scenes. And there might have been another session or two that you put into it, like maybe earlier in the process, if I remember.
Probably a couple of sessions where I sat down with it myself to try to like iron some structure things out.
Okay. So
I'd say
it would be
between like 24 and 48 hours.
like total. Like
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's tricky when it's there because my subconscious was working on it the whole time.
Right.
So
That's so true.
months. Took many months.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, as we might be wrapping up a little early today, but I wanted to ask about like I don't think we had a conversation just about you and your career and your projects and how we can hear more from you. So tell us all about that, and if people here have heard it, they can hear it again.
Okay. Yes. So I'm the Producile, aka Lorene Anderson, and I've been producing for about 2.5 years. But so it was somebody on this live stream. Who was it that said it? May have been Andre, who was like, "Seems like you've been producing for decades, but only recently on a DAW." And I would say that that's true. I was part of a band called the Duke of Uke and His Novelty Orchestra for about a decade that did lots of horn arrangements together and lots of vocal arrangements together. And we were a 7-piece group. And that it was all originals. So that was very much having the kind of like arrangement vision. So yeah, and I started producing really in earnest because I had 3 songs that I wanted to get out into the world, and that turned into my EP, which is called I Am Okay, and it's available on Bandcamp under my name, The Producile. So
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I have like a business writing custom songs. It's called Special Someone Songs, and that's sort of taking like a little bit of a backseat because I'm focusing on falling in love with my music again and just working on things that my heart really wants to work on. Sometimes it can get murky when money is involved or potential money is involved. Like at the beginning of this, we were talking about there's those. I'm hounded by these 3 questions of is this good? Are other people gonna like this? And can I sell this? And so I'm trying to kind of like detox a little bit from those questions and just get back to doing stuff that's like fun and joyful 100% all the way through.
Yeah, I support that.
But I'm a tuba player. I'm like 4-octave singer-ish. And I love to top line and produce and write. And yeah, so I guess I'm a triple threat that way. Like musician, writer, producer.
That's very cool. Yeah. Sam Jr. Is asking, will they all be online making more songs live, or is this just a one-time thing?
I hope it's not just a one-time thing,
yeah.
but do tell. Suzanne has plans.
Yes, so plans. I normally do the 3:33 show Mondays and Fridays, no matter what project I am working on. I will either, if I'm working on a song and I show the DAW, or I just play originals and covers off of this piano, just kind of acoustic, and take requests. Or I am writing a song from scratch and giving myself 2 hours to do so. Or like I like to do whatever music making experiments and reserve my 3:33 p.m. Pacific time, by the way, on Mondays and Fridays, just so that I know that at least if all else fails, at least twice a week, I am making music. And Lorene has been my first collaborator, and I would say it's been an amazing success in looking to do more with even more collaborators. And I was pitching the idea of doing another song with Lorene in the fall. So if you want to follow the rest of my my stuff, I'm youtube.com/Little Spiral. And I should probably do a little spiel on what Little Spiral is and the whole thing. Yeah. So I am, my real name is Suzanne Yeda. My superhero name is Little Spiral. And the short answer to how I got the name is, that's the big spiral and I'm the little spiral. That's the short answer. I also have been working with, I've been songwriting since, well, for decades, but really taking it seriously since 2014, when my first EP came out and the whole Little Spiral vibe came to. I define myself as an indie piano singer-songwriter, in the veins of like Fiona Apple, Ben Folds, Regina Spektor, Tori Amos, some of those like 90s and aughts alternative piano artists that I really love. And that's kind of the Little Spiral project. But I'm also kind of, as I'm getting more into the professional music world, creating little monikers and side projects and things so that I can feel like I can create in whatever genre and whatever vibe, and it has like they have homes. So
nice.
that's something that I was really resistant to for a while, because I'm like, do I have to make all of these different like TikTok accounts for all of these different monikers? No. It's a easier way for me to communicate and for people to remember. Like, if it's the Electric Spiral, or if it's the Sad Girl Spiral, or if it's like, like this, it's an easier way to communicate with, particularly with sync agencies and people who place music for film, TV, commercials. It's a way for you to be more creative, uninhibited, and be memorable on their behalf, so that when they need a sad song, they're like, oh, I remember Sad Spirals did this thing and she has this kind of vibe. But then I could do like the Electronic Spirals where it has a different kind of vibe, and so I say that almost as a tangent, because my stuff, I like to be a little more weird, a little less concerning about whether or not my stuff will sell on the marketplace of music ideas. And that just keeps that creative energy kind of flowing. So I am about to, in 2 weeks, release a live album called Concerts for Introverts, and I've been doing this series called Concerts for Introverts, which I'll bring up because Lorene will be my guest at the next one. It's the first Sundays of every month, I host an online live show, and I just, it's mostly acoustic. They're just my songs and the piano, and not a whole lot else. So I'll do originals. And that is a $12 ticket. But if you message me, come follow me or whatever, I'll hook you up. If you've never been before, you can use the code First Timer, all one word, First Timer, and you can sneak in the back door. I don't care.
Nice.
Yeah, you can just slide right through, and that'll be at concertsforintroverts.com. Yeah. So Concerts for Introverts will take you to the ticket page. So the coupon code is First Timer. And what I was also we were talking about before. Actually, I don't know if we've got a whole lot of time. Maybe we do. But
I'm not in any hurry. So
okay. Figuring out how to play this song acoustically.
Right.
Is a very interesting challenge that I want to be able to do for the concert on Sunday. So kind of back to my whole spiel is I have a Song of the Month club on Patreon where I release a new demo of a song every month. And it's exclusive to patrons. And our song In Your Corner is up right now because today is August 1st, and the first of every month I release a new song to patrons.
Amazing.
And I've done that for the past 4.5 years. And so I've got a collection of these songs of the month that I get to perform and add to my playlist for these concerts for introverts. It's Sunday afternoon, so 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern in the States. Hi, Monica! Nice to see you. I'm so glad that you're coming. Monica has been following me ever since I've learned how to live stream, back when live streaming was very, very new. Like, cool. Facebook Live became an actual thing, and Monica's been following me. She's a great creative in her own right. And I can't wait to see you at the show. So every month I release a song, and every month I have a concert to celebrate that song and also perform some more originals. So this Sunday, Lorraine will be a guest. I also, just a little note about the format of it. It's usually an hour of like an actual show. And then afterwards, if you want to hang out, I tend to play people like little tidbits of things that I'm working on, like productions. Like, this is the acoustic show, but then afterwards we hang out and get to share music and we get to shoot the shit. I ask people about how their weekend was and things like that. It's been really cool. And so this Sunday, what I was inviting Lorraine to do is to bring some of her other tracks, maybe off of your EP or something that she's working on. She wants to kind of show people, whatever it is, your prerogative. But bring a couple of those tracks in the after party. We could just have a little listening party to your work. So that's what I like to do for people. Also, just as a heads up, I will be splitting the proceeds of August's Patreon income with Lorraine because this is our song. We have released it together under the Patreon. And so if you do feel so inclined, if you've enjoyed what you've been seeing and hearing, I've been learning some stuff, and the song gets into your head, feel free to join the Patreon. It's patreon.com/littlespiral. And all of August's income will be split 50-50 with Lorraine.
Nice.
Okay, so that's my little commercial.
Yes.
And okay, so let's actually talk about this song, I'm in Your Corner. I need to spit out my gum if I'm gonna work it out.
Could start with some like left hand stuff. Like like is how it starts, right?
Yeah, remind me what key this thing is in. Done.
Great question. I want to say it's in C. Am I crazy? Let me here. Let me. Hmm. Maybe it's in D.
You
No,
gave
not D. Definitely
G minor.
not D. G minor.
Oh, I need to turn my original sound on. Let me know if you can hear.
Actually, sounds pretty nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to write down the chords too. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
we
it'd
should
be fun
probably
to
write
do this
down
on
the chords.
guitar.
We should probably write down.
Isn't that funny? You know, like it's. Yeah.
And then we changed the.
Yeah, yeah. Ah, beautiful. This is so pretty acoustic already. It's so pretty.
No, it's
Yeah, it's major until the.
okay. I think it is. And also I'm doing a lot of this by ear, and that is, decades of experience figuring out how to do that, and I could not tell you how to play by ear. You're gonna have to like look that up. I don't even know. But I describe it as sort of like if you've been at a keyboard, like there's this keyboard, but then there's the computer keyboard. And if you're really good at typing, like you can just like type what you're thinking. You just like do it. It is similar with this. As you get better and better at playing the thing and doing your training, whatever you got to do, you can get to that level of, well, I know what I want to say and I'm going to type it out, or I know what I'm hearing and I'm going to type it out. It there's a muscle memory in it.
Yeah.
So it's actually very similar to me. Both keyboards just function in a similar way. Okay, so I like to, when I do acoustic versions, I do like to have like a little bit of a twist so that it can be its own like standalone version. And people, I keep thinking back to, I'm also a massive Radiohead fan. There's a song called Like Spinning Plates that is on Amnesia. Anyway, it's this ethereal, weird, electronic song that's really more about sound design than proper structure. When he plays it acoustically, it's completely different, but it's the same song. He plays it.
Cool.
He plays it on piano too. And it sounds nothing like the sound design stuff that's on the album version. So I do like to have some sort of twist or some sort of like emotional presence on it. So I might like, it could be as energetic. It could be like I could, or I could be just like, gave them your trust, and they betrayed you in return. Lesson like that, I wish no one had to learn. You've got nothing, and it is a different chord there.
I like that chord though.
It's not on you. I know you tried, you did what you had to. Times you don't believe in you. I always do. I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. You got this, I got you. What you do, I'm in your corner. I'm in your. Something like that. I actually need to write this down.
Wow, please do. I just got full body chills from that.
Okay, so here we go. It's G
Whew,
minor
that's beautiful.
and then B flat. I'm
This
saying
is
this out
also how
loud.
you know you have a pretty good song is when it translates.
Yes.
It's not all in the production, you know? It's actually in the arrangement and
Yes.
writing as well.
E flat. So, to satisfy anybody curious at home, it is G minor, B flat, F, E flat. Of course, we could look at the piano roll, but I'm just like, meh. And then it loops around for the verse, and then for the pre-chorus, it is E flat, F, E flat, F, and then it goes back to E flat for the chorus. This is in your corner. It goes back to E flat for the chorus. Hallelujah. B flat. And there's like a. Is it sustained or?
Man, that is so pretty. B flat.
I think it's a. Oh, nice.
It's like a C, right? No, maybe?
I think it's actually an F because I think your C is not the root note. I think it's. But there's a C in it. So the.
Yes. Oh, so what's the chord that you're ending on? E flat, B flat. What is it?
And it would be F, but it would be like a tension release F. I can't.
Oh, cool. Like
Is this a sustained?
7?
Like F sustained? I'm not actually great with the names of these chords. I had to teach that myself.
Nice.
I had to teach like if I see the letter C, what do I play on the piano? That was a skill I had to develop long after I stopped taking piano lessons. They don't teach that in piano lessons.
I really admire that. I would like to get to that level.
I think it's F sustained if I'm remembering.
Pretty. That's really beautiful.
And then it goes back to the G. So that's verse, chorus. So we have. Bring your tuba to concerts for introverts.
Sure.
Yes, please. So the bridge has some new chords that I don't know. So we might have to look at the piano roll for that.
Let's figure out what those are. Well, yeah.
Or you could play it like if you wanted to play it on stream and I could see what I could do by ear. But I think there might be like a C9 in there that it's a nice little like it's a jazzified chord in there.
It's totally jazzy. Yes.
Love that shit, but also don't know what it's called.
Right? So how about this? I want to share my screen and we can look at this because I just added it. So and there's there's kind of a chord happening with the tuba itself, and then, but it's happening with the vocal line.
Okay. Okay.
So the chord is sort of coming out of the trio of the voice, and then a tuba, and then I melodined another tuba line to be a harmony.
Okay.
So let's take a look at that. Okay. Make it big. Oh, did I? Yep, sharing sound. Good. Okay, yeah. All right, tuba.
You are loved, adored,
Is a like very majestic chord. So what is happening here?
loved, adored.
What did I have this set to? I mean, the quick way is to put Melodyne on it and look. Because I'm a cheater that way.
You're just finding efficiencies is what I call.
Okay. A. Nope, B flat, sorry.
B flat. Okay.
Finding
That's tuba
efficiencies.
line.
Thank you. Yes. G.
G.
A. G.
B flat. G.
Sorry, yes. Correct. There's no A.
Okay.
And then this one is
F.
F. And then back to the B flat.
Back to B.
And so then the other one,
Does it go back up to C after that? Or not?
it might. Let me look. So this one's also so B flat, G, and then F, which we did that, and then that one is a D.
D. Okay.
And that D went with the G. Wait, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
It might be a G minor. The chord.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the D and the G. So that makes this chord.
Powerful,
Sounds like a minor chord to me.
powerful.
Yeah. And then this next one, which
F.
might be my favorite chord ever, is a C and a.
And then F. Or a A. F A C.
C and what is it? F, yeah, you're right. C and F, and then something. And then it goes to, what is this? Da da.
B flat.
That's the B flat again. And then with the F. No, wait. The B, so B flat, and then this high note. F. Oh, it's a high F. It is an F. So it ends up going like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Play the bridge one more time. Let me just see if I can play along.
Sure. Okay, so that's just this straight.
You are loved, adored, beautiful, powerful. You are loved, adored,
Ooh, yeah.
beautiful, powerful.
Yeah.
So it's actually B flat and then D minor because you've got another bass going on. So, okay. All right.
Pretty. Yeah, you
Very
can flavor them however you want,
cool.
Yeah.
F, and then B flat and D minor. So here, and I'll flavor it like maybe that's a B.
Pretty. Make it jazzy.
Jazzify.
Yeah. Pretty. Oh. Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love that. Nice.
So put that B9 in there, make it all. Maybe is it
Yes.
9 or is it might be a. It might be a B major 7. B flat major 7. I think that's the correct.
9 chords are so cool, and I just learned really what they are, and that they're the same as a second, but one up,
Yeah.
like an octave up, which is just gives it that cool sound where it's like dissonant but so purty.
Yeah. I do think though this particular chord is major 7. So
I like 7.
this is a regular 7th, but a major 7th would be a half step up to give it that just little. So it's not quite a 9. A 9 would be 1, 2, which is cool.
That is cool.
It really does sound cool.
It's bright.
And it's bright. So major 7 makes it a little more tense and like jazzy. And a major makes it a little more expansive and curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's really smart to connect emotions, very direct and specific emotions, to chords. Helps us remember them.
Whatever the fuck that was.
What's that one? I love it.
I don't know. Let's figure it out.
Good. Play it again.
This one might actually be. I'm trying to remember. This is my learning edge right now. So E flat, B flat, E flat, F, G, B flat, C, D. Like
God,
I'm using all 5 fingers to just.
Ooh. Love that.
I don't fucking know what it is. Maybe
That's
it's
all
a 2 chord, but with a jazzy something.
It's awesome.
Oh, you know what this is? This is I don't know if you've ever been a fan of the Smiths. Morrissey's kind of an asshole, but this song. Sing me to sing, sing me to sing. I'm tired now. Oh, I go to bed. There's certain songs that live in my hands. They're just I got the shapes for them, and they pop out ever so often. And the Smiths, that song's called "Asleep," and that I remember as a kid.
Let's steal those chords.
Yeah, that and there's some like old Red House Painters songs. Like I used to be really like indie super cool. I was hipster before hipsters were hipsters. And we find all these indie bands that only got like mentions in like Spin Magazine or NME or Q, like the British magazines, because they were way cooler than the American ones.
Whoa.
Before the internet. Before the internet, that is how we had to discover music. I had to walk uphill both ways in the snow to buy a magazine that would have words words to describe music. You couldn't actually hear it.
Oh
You
my
would just
God.
have to rely on somebody writing up like this band sounds like. I don't even
That's
know how
true.
they did it.
I totally bought albums based on somebody writing
Yep.
about how it sounded.
Yep. Words. Weird. Now you're like, what are they on YouTube? Anyway, okay, let me do a quick run through. I do have to go in about 10 minutes, but let me see if I can do
We're out of time.
a little bit of a run through. Do I have any water left? No. All right, let's just see. I love having the full produced dance version, and then I love having this kind of more emotional kind of, hi, I'm in your corner, like get kind of silky and jazzy and sweet about it.
Love it.
So let's see. How can I do a little intro? Let's see. Gave them your trust, they trade you in return. Wrestling like that, I wish no one not to learn you got nothing to hide. It's all on you. I know you're trying to do what you had to. Oh, that's right. I'm reading my notes wrong. But anyway, I know you tried. It's all on you. If not to hide, you did what you had to. Times when don't believe in, I always do. Oh, they are calling. I'm in your corner. But this is not gonna catch you. I'm in your corner. I'm in your.
Yep. Got the goosebumps.
And there's a little pregnant pause, and then
Yes.
I don't remember what the next line is. What is the next line? You something.
I know that it hurts.
I know that. Thank you. Know that it hurts. You got superpowers. You can tell bullshit from flowers. So one of us are stronger than before. No one's gonna beat you down. That's okay. Oh, 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 yeah. I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. You got this, I got you. I'm in your corner. Something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind hearing the "You got this, I got you" repeated at the ending chorus.
Oh,
I was
cool.
like
Yeah, yeah,
hearing
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so nice. I just wanted to hear it again. Yeah,
Cool. Yeah,
that's
I can do
beautiful.
that. And then I'll also work a little on I think the bridge my brain wants to do. Oh, especially like a boom, like a I want to do the plunks that we've got.
Mm-hmm.
I'll work that out. Make sure that gets in there. So yeah, I'm so glad. Oh, I'm seeing
That was like a
people
magic
saying,
trick, Suzanne, that you could just do that. It was
yeah,
beautiful. It was really
yeah.
beautiful.
I
Your
I
magic.
definitely appreciate that. I agree that it's magic because I don't know how the fuck I do it.
That's awesome.
But it's one of those things like if you understand like typing at a computer keyboard and you're just blah 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 blah. If you understand that, like I've got an esoteric thought, but I need to type it out, and somehow your fingers move in the right ways to write out things. Like then you can kind of understand what I'm trying to do there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would
Beautiful.
love to invite every single one of you who is on the stream, especially if you're a regular, come on out to the Concerts for Introverts. I will play that from beginning to end and kind of have a couple extra cool things worked out. Get a free ticket at concertsforintroverts.com and use the coupon code FIRST TIMER. FIRSTTIMER. Get yourself a free ticket.
Beautiful. Bravo.
Yay! Excellent.
Well done.
It's been
What a
so
pleasure.
fun. An
Yeah.
absolute joy. We shall work again. And if you want to see, I do think that I will keep doing this. Produce Isle, if you want to I don't know if you have any
Yeah,
plans for
actually,
doing live streams on
I
your.
do. Just quick note on that. You very much inspired me, and I want to try to make a regular Wednesday thing.
Yay.
I think 5 o'clock Central is what I'm planning for.
So about this time, like I'm at 3:33. I'm at 3 Pacific. So 5 o'clock Central, 3 Pacific, 6 p.m. Our usual time.
Yeah, but Wednesdays.
But Wednesdays and a half hour earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And then my Concerts for Introverts, they're the first Sunday of every month at 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. We don't talk about the mountain time. We don't talk about them. No. But I do that the first Sundays of every month, and we will be celebrating this song, and I'd love to see you all there. It's a Zoom call, so like you'd actually be able to, if you choose to turn on your camera, cool. If you don't,
Oh, that'd be so cool to see y'all's lovely faces. But I'd love that.
It would be cool, and I'd love that, and it's called Concerts for Introverts, so if you are feeling introverted, you do have permission to do whatever the hell you want. But I would love to see your lovely faces. It's a Zoom concert, so we get to be in a little more of a direct community, and it's really cool.
That'd be so sweet. I love that.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. ConcertsForIntroverts.com and the Produce Aisle on Bandcamp, and just make sure you're subscribing to both of our YouTube channels. I'm going to keep this going, and I might have some extra guests on. If any of you have a fancy to be a guest or something like that, please hit me up. I'd love to have you on. I have been talking with a fella here in LA named Rod Kim, who has expressed some interest, so we might get started next week with
I'm excited
a new project.
You guys collaborate. That's
exciting. Yeah, that'll be really fun, and I think we had a preliminary discussion to kind of talk through what we want to do maybe what kind of subjects we like to write about, and it could be. I think it's going to be really cool, really rich, really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So follow us both. Thank you so much. Oh, also thank you, Andre, who's been a regular here. Sam Jr., who's been popping up lately. Monica, y'all have been holding it down, and I'm just glad that you're enjoying this. And we'll continue on. I'll continue with the Mondays and Fridays. Lorraine's going to start up on Wednesdays on her channel, and I hope to see you around. Awesome!
Bye, everybody. It's been fun.
It's been fun. I really hope to see you Sunday. That's when I'm really hoping.
Yes.
Come on board for Sunday.
For sure.
Awesome. Take care, everybody. Bye.